Hey guys, welcome to tutorial number 2 on using Photopea. This is going to be a shorter, easier, less technical tutorial because now that we've got our photos to have the color saturation that we want to, and again, don't overdo it. You can have way too dark of darks and way too light of lights and it looks awful. You do have to make sure it's balanced, but once you've got your picture balanced the way that you want your picture to be balanced, it's now time to make sure you're only seeing what you want to see and you're cutting out any noise. And in this case, when I say noise, I could be talking about extra stuff that's being there. Like, so you've got a picture of you and you look amazing, and then you've got to pick your brother in the back corner and you look amazing, so you don't want to take another picture, but you don't want your brother to be in the picture. You crop them out. Okay, so that's cropping. Or the noise could be that you have your pictures taken, and you look amazing and everything's perfect, except for whoever took it at a slight angle. I've had that happen before, and then everything's always rotated a little bit. And you don't want that there. It's very easy to fix. So this class is going to be on cropping, rotating, and flipping as well, because flipping is really cool and super easy to do. And all it's going to do is take whatever's on the left-hand side and put it on the right-hand side, and your image is just flipped 180 degrees, which can look really cool and also give you a different perspective on things. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So again, to start off, we're just going to, oops, that's not the right button. So to start off, we're just going to find a picture from the computer here, from my computer. Let's go to this one. This is a pretty funny picture, I think, because I look ridiculous. The face I'm making there. So what I want to do with this picture, in addition to adjusting the curves, which I'm going to do very quickly here, I want to isolate just my face, because my face is hilarious. And if I isolate just my face a little bit, it's going to allow me to focus in on the fact that I look ridiculous. Also, later on, it's going to allow me to make an easier cutout of it, and then I can put that funny face wherever I want it to go, right? So the first thing we're going to talk about doing is we're going to talk about cropping. Now, when you crop something, you do have to be careful, because when you crop something, you permanently delete everything else. So this is going to be something which is destructive to the actual image file. So if I were to crop this and then save it again, whatever else was on that image is gone forever. So you have to be careful when you're cropping. What I recommend you do, because if I saved it as this image, wherever I got it from, if I just rewrote over that image, the rest of the image would be gone, and we don't necessarily want that. So if you are going to be cropping a photo, I would create a copy of the original file. That way you do have the original, and then you can have one for editing, and if you accidentally break something, it doesn't matter because you still have the original, okay? But for cropping, there's two different ways to do it, both very simple. For the first one, you can go to crop, use the crop tool over here. You simply select exactly what it is that you want to keep. And once you're done selecting it, you can move and change the boundary as well, right? You define exactly what it is that you want to keep. So a little bit too much of my wife's face there, so then let's balance that out as well. Get it to exactly where you want it to go, hit enter, and you're done. You've cropped your photo. Now here I would crop this again, because while it's fine up here, you don't necessarily want to include the log at the bottom, right? Because that's going to be a little bit of noise. What is that thing? I don't know why it's there. So crop it, enter, done. Now there's too much at the top, and you can play with it back and forth. Do your crop however you want it to be. That's cropping it, and then you're done, okay? That's all there is to cropping. Now, let's say I have, and I don't have, on this image is not a good example. So let's open up a different one. So let's say I want to rotate it so that rather than my head being on an angle this way, I want my head to be straight up and down. That would be a good idea to do after I'm done cropping it. But if I do it before I'm cropping it, it's going to throw the entire photo off, because suddenly what is straight up and down in actuality with the wall is then going to be rotated, and it's going to look kind of silly, okay? So I'll show you what I mean by that, and then I'll crop it and rotate it afterwards. But what you're going to want to do in order to do a rotation is you go to the Move tool, make sure that's selected. Across this top bar here, you should see the transform controls. If you press that, that allows you to transform your image, and then you click and drag to wherever you want, and that looks to be about vertical there. But yes, you can see the wall and Clarissa's face. It doesn't make any sense to have it rotated right now, obviously, right? So you do need to make sure you're not changing the rest of the picture as you do this. Okay, so I'm going to Control Z that. The first thing I'm going to do is go back to my crop tool, and I'm going to crop just me here. Yes, I seem to be cutting my wife out of lots of pictures and just keeping myself. I may be narcissistic. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Do that. Go to the Move tool. Transform Tools is selected, so then I can... Oops, let's change. And you can move this, and this is going to be the axis of rotation. So that means however I choose to transform it, it's going to happen around that point. And I go there. Perfect. And then hit Enter to complete the transformation. Just like the crop tool, this is something which will permanently change your image. So again, if you rotate it, hit Enter, and you're super happy with it, that's great. If you hit Enter and you save it, and then you open it later and you didn't want it rotated, well, you're going to have to transform it back because it's permanently changed. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, that is the transform here. That's how to rotate your image. Now, let's say I want it flipped. Okay, because I want my arms to be going the other direction. That is very, very easy to do. Simply go to Image, Transform, Flip horizontally or flip vertically. I can make myself vertical, but that's not what I wanted to do. Go to Image, Transform, Flip horizontally. Boom, now I'm facing the other direction. Okay, that's really all I wanted you to show you how to do on this tutorial. Right, see, 3 very simple things to kind of pick and choose what's being focused on and how it's focused. Okay. The assignment that I want you to work on has been posted as a Word document as well, so make sure you go to Edsby and check that out. Until I see you guys again, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you take care of yourselves.